think we could have asked for better conditions at Trackwork here at Randwick this morning ahead of TAB Epsom Day. We see the first group of babies step out in the Gimcrack and the breeders, the Group 1 Metrop and the fillies in the Flight Stakes. The Group 1, I have all the latest and a bit of fun this morning from Trackwork at Randwick. All right, Michael, we'll start with Incognito there in the breeders. We saw him at those very first 2-year-old trials. Physically, of course, he was an expensive yearling by first season sire, Stay Inside. What have you made of him since then?
I think he's really come on well. He wasn't sort of screwed down for those trials by any means, and I've sort of liked the way he's gone since then. So worked nicely here Tuesday morning. He's drawn a nice enough gate, so Tommy knows the horse well, so we're looking for a good run.
What do you think of the Stay Inside so far?
Yeah, I've been really pleased with him. There's been a bit of chatter around about him amongst a few of the other trainers. So, it's good to sort of see that there's a few of them up and about. I mean, he got a good book of mares his first season. So, fingers crossed that he gets off to a good start.
Particularly on the weekend in the breeders.
Yeah, particularly mine.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, I thought actually physically watching him in the yard, like he still wasn't quite there, but he's obviously a beautiful type.
Yeah, he's at the sales. He was probably the colt that I thought reminded me most of Stay Inside himself. And there was a lot of talk about him at the sales, obviously, and hence he made good money. But he's a lovely colt, and looking forward to seeing him there Saturday.
Well, it could be a very big day as we look then towards, of course, the Dulcify Stakes. Ruination. Now, this could be a very fortuitous win for him. He's the son of Wotton Bassett out of Daisy Doom. We lost Wotton Bassett a couple of weeks ago. He looks a very progressive horse.
Yeah, he's done a really good job. He went to the provincials and won his maiden at Kembla in good style, and there's been good form out of that with West of Swindon going back to Melbourne and winning that good race down there. And then he did a good job to step up to 64 grade at Newcastle, his next start. So he's quite a progressive young horse, and sort of felt it was time to give him his chance back in town and at a decent level.
And his work has been you've been happy with it since then?
Yeah, he's a really lovely colt. He's not a bully colt or anything like that. He's very straightforward. Worked here on the Kenzo on Tuesday and put in a nice piece of work. So he's drawn a little bit awkwardly, which Tommy's going to have to do his homework there as to where he can find a good spot on him. But I think if he gets a bit of luck from the draw, he could run well.
One of your big-time owners, Emma Friedman, was telling me about your strike rate with Tommy Berry recently, and I think it's the best we've got going around in Metro at the moment. Yeah,
it's been a great few weeks. There's no doubt about that, but hopefully it can continue. I think everyone gets their turn in this industry, and certainly the last few weeks have been great.
Speaking of big-time owners, Apocalyptic. Third up now, she's won the first 2 legs of the Princess Series. How has she been? I know first up you were reluctant to throw her in the deep end, but you knew the talent that she had.
Yeah, look, she's done an amazing job so far to sort of win at Group 2 level against experienced horses first up. I thought her run in the T-Rose was terrific, given she sort of did get trapped a little bit wide. And she seems to have trained on well. Really liked the way she worked here Tuesday. Obviously there's a little question mark, I guess, at the mile, as there is for a few others as well, but she gives every indication that she'll enjoy that. Just Tommy needs to find a good spot on her, and hopefully she can, reproduce.
You do also have Magenta Skies there, the daughter of Frankel.
Yeah, she's a really nice filly, homebred of John Camilleri's, and did a great job at Newcastle her last start. That was only over the 1400, but I just loved the way she really lengthened late. Gives me every indication she'll enjoy stepping up to the mile and should enjoy a big track like Randwick, and she'd be a filly hopefully we can sort of press on beyond Saturday to maybe something in Melbourne.
And then just a journey you have as well in the Edward Manifold. You found the services of James McDonald in Victoria. Yeah,
look, it's historically this race does come up a little bit soft at sort of that level. And she's a really good, tough filly, Just a Journey. She did a good job against the older horses at Canterbury 2 weeks ago. And I felt it was just time to give her a chance at that sort of level. She's travelled down there well, and obviously I think the cherry on top's getting James to ride her. He doesn't ride too many for me, but when I found out that he was going to be down there for the meeting, I sort of tried to get him early. So I think she'll enjoy the big open spaces of Flemington and hopefully enjoy the mile.
Then we look to the weekend. In the Midway, you've got Harlow Mist and Claim the Crown. How are they both tracking there to 1800?
Yeah, Molly Burke's on Harlow Mist because it's got a lot of weight, drawn well. She'll be right behind the speed, and second up, 1800 should be nice for her. Claim the Crown was a very good run last start, drew wide and ended up leading. We're drawn wide again, so I'll wait and see the speed map with Josh and work out whether we go forward or back from the tricky 1800 start. But he's in form now, so hopefully he runs well.
Yeah, Flying Orchid in the Dulcify, he ran in the Ming Dynasty, and what did you make of it? How has he come through that? How's he been since?
Yeah, disappointed. I thought he'd be hard to beat in that, and he got on the fence. He got pushed to the fence, and Zach said he just switched off and didn't get into the race. He finished midfield. I know he's a lot better than that. His work's been good since. I've added blinkers. Zach rode him on Tuesday, was happy. So from the draw, we'll put him in the race, I think, on Saturday, and hopefully we'll see a different horse.
I know you'd said that you would wait and see what level he was at and whether he would push on to some of the future carnival races, perhaps even in Melbourne. Do you still have that opinion of him going forward?
Yeah, if he can win up Saturday, he'd either back up in the Gloaming or go to the Spring Champion. But I'd like to see him front up on Saturday because, as you say, he's a lot better than his last run.
And he's a beautiful horse too. In the Melbourne Storm Mile, you've got Glad You Think So and Powers of Opal too. How have they worked this week?
Yeah, Glad You Think So's right in form. He's doing very well. Would like a bit of rain. I think he's better with his toe in the ground, and I don't think he'll get that on Saturday, but he's doing well, and he's in form. Powers of Opal's out of form. She's working well, but I've changed a couple of things around, and she's been out this morning doing a bit of the jumping and whatever, so hopefully we can change her around with no weight in the back.
Very different scenario to a couple of weeks ago when I was here and we were basically underwater. There was a swimming pool over to your left, and we've had sunny skies for the last couple of weeks, and it's just dried everything out beautifully.
Yeah, it'll be a perfect track. He's putting plenty of water on at nights, and it'll have the jar out, but yeah, it'll be beautiful.
Adrian, one of my favourite days of the year. It's TAB Epsom coming up, and not just because it's Epsom Day, but also because we get to see the babies for the very first time. You have a strong hand, so let's just touch on the breeders, the Colts, Eviction Notice, I'm Your Huckleberry, and Revengeance. How have they all come through those first trials?
Yeah, excellent. They've had a good time since then, came through it really well. I thought they were all very professional when they stepped out, when we saw them publicly at the trials. So we've just sort of tried to follow a similar sort of formula that's worked well for us in previous years, and I think they're all going to the race in great shape.
Can you split them?
Very difficult. Just hard to sort of gauge the level of improvement that they've taken off that trial sort of individually. But I was equally impressed with them. They did things in their own right that equally impressed me. Eviction Notice was obviously quite dominant the way he won his trial. Revengeance still sort of learning his trade, but I thought there's plenty of quality there. And I'm Your Huckleberry, I think there's more to him than what we saw on the day.
I'm Your Huckleberry physically just looks like he's there. He sort of has a similar style to Stormboy, would you say? Yeah,
the way he parades, it almost looks a little bit unfair at times, doesn't he? He's a great physical type, and he's handled the preparation really well.
And then of the fillies, we've got the speedy Shiki. Gee, she can ping the leads, can't she? Home Invasion and the Wildling.
Yeah, Shiki I thought's always had plenty of the most natural ability and speed out of them all. It's just always been about trying to see her harness that, which I think she's been doing a great job of, and I was really encouraged by her trial. So I think there's plenty of upside with her. She's had a really positive time since that trial. She's sort of really held it together mentally and physically, so she's really gone the right way. Home Invasion's a sharp filly the way she trialled. I know she did a few things wrong, but she just went into it a little bit fresh and seems to have sort of really ironed those out in between. And the Wilding, she came out of the fast heat, the same heat as Shiki. I think she's better than what her performance may have suggested on the day.
How's Fully Lit heading into the Epsom?
Excellent, remarkably tough horse, very deep into his campaign, but he's just showed no signs of slowing down. Each time we've sort of stepped him up, he's continued to meet the occasion for us. Looks in terrific order. He's drawn well. He's coming out of an excellent run in the Cameron, and I can't fault the horse, so he certainly deserves his opportunity at this class.
We can be forgiving of Vauban last start?
I think you have to be. I still have a lot of confidence in the horse and the way he's been training. I thought he'd been going particularly well all campaign. I liked his trials. First up performance was excellent. So that was sort of the only, disappointing aspect of the campaign to date. But I think there's a few reasons around that, the way that race unfolded for him, and may have potentially just raced slightly flat there second up. So I think he can really bounce back for us.
And he looks as though he's just getting more and more settled each time. I know he's been such a work in progress.
Yeah, he's handling the race day occasions sort of really, really well now, and he seems comfortable and at home here at Randwick. So getting out to his right sort of trip now, I think that's a big key. So if he can just hold it together once again on the big day, I'm sure we can see a big improvement.
We'll just quickly touch on a couple in Melbourne. Knightsbridge, another one of the Colts, he goes down for the Maribyrnong.
Yeah, just thought he was the right colt to take down for that race. He's very professional in his trial, and he's got the great constitution, I think, just to sort of handle the travel and the new environment there, and handle the race up the straight. So we've got James booked to ride him. He's drawn well there and looks a nice race. And
Sedilius, how's he come out of his Underwood win?
Excellent. He was so tough on that occasion. He struggled a little bit around Caulfield there, first time of asking. I think he'll appreciate getting to Flemington, and sort of one of the main reasons I wanted to be there, just give him a good look at that track. Obviously everything we're doing's focused and shaped around the Melbourne Cup, but it seems to have trained on really well. He's in good order and looking forward to the race once again.
Tom, before we get into the weekend, I'll just ask you about linebacker. He's just had a little minor setback.
Yeah, he did. He just needed a sort of week, 10 days off following his first start run, but luckily at this stage he's responded well. He's been back in faster work this week. So ideally we'll trial on Tuesday and then most likely head to the Silver Eagle Everest Day.
And actually, just on that, because I'm thinking now about Canterbury quarantine last week, you'll have a new horse joining your stable soon from William Haggis.
Yeah, we managed to buy a horse over in England this year. I was luckily there at the time, so popped in with William and his son Sam and OTI, who we do quite a bit of work with, and did the deal on a horse called Sam Hawkins. So he's an exciting horse that hopefully will present very well in a St Ledger. We're not in any control of him at the moment, so we're leaving it to the master and his team at Canterbury, and I think all's well.
It looked like he travelled well when I saw him last week with Lake Forest. Sam Hawkins, named after Sam? No, Sam actually bought it off a different stable, so he's been a part of the journey, and I think they're remaining in the ownership together. So we're looking forward to it. Will we see Sam Haggis out here again?
Hopefully not too much. We'll see him at the end of the year. I think he's around the Ashes time he'll be down.
I see how it is. Azarax in the Dulcify. Let's look to the weekend. He looks a progressive horse.
Yeah, really great natured horse. Loves his racing and his work, and sort of unassuming horse. The more you ask him, the more he sort of gives you. So he's done nothing wrong so far. He deserves his chance in this race. Should appreciate the mile, and he can run well.
In that mile race then you also have Straight Acer and Polymnia. How have they come through their return runs?
Good. Straight Acer was a little bit disappointing, but he can do that first up, and we knew he had a bit of improvement, so we're hoping for him to step forward again, and then he's got sort of main targets, sort of Melbourne Cup Day here in Sydney. Polymnia was excellent first up. She couldn't have done much more, so she presents well, can definitely run well, may head to an Anx a couple of weeks after, and that was it, wasn't it? Yeah.
Speaking of excellent, Artistic Venture in the Flight Stakes, wasn't she super last start?
Yep, excellent, great effort, and she's one that we think will appreciate going to the mile, and looks to have trained on well, so a bit of an ask to try and turn the tables with Michael Freedman's filly, and the way Michael's acting this morning, I'd say his confidence levels look pretty high.
He's quite up and about this morning, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's already thinks he's over the line then. But look, she's in good order, and if she could run top 3 at least, that would be great.
All right. Athabaskan, one of my favourites in the Metrop there. He's working well this prep?
He's going better than his results suggest. He hasn't had a really good opportunity to show his wares at a suitable trip. He'll get that this weekend from an inside barrier, which probably help him. And on his best form, he's more than capable of running very well in that race, and there's nothing that suggests to us that he isn't in good enough form to do so.
And then it'll be a big day for you because you've got a couple in the last as well, Get a Fix and Zuna. Zuna was the one I particularly wanted to ask about. He's got an interesting story.
Well, Zuna, he had came from Queensland. He just needed time with a knee issue, which we gave to him, and then just when he was getting back going, he had just an unfortunate issue with his eye, which just needed a bit of treatment as well. So hopefully patience will be rewarded. He's a lovely horse, looks to have a bit about him. He'll need racing for sure. So what we see this weekend won't be the finished product, but hopefully horse for the future.
You did run second in a JJ behind Broadsiding, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Or a SARS, I think it was SARS Produce. And so, yeah, look, he's got good form, and I guess we'll learn where he's exactly fitting in.
Okay, Pete, I'll actually start with just asking you about how a couple of your horses have pulled up from last weekend. Acacia and Beedman, they've come through in good order?
Yeah, both in good order. Both good runs, I thought, in a high-quality race. Probably the horse that had most improvement out would be Beedman. He was the biggest of them, of those two. But, yeah, really happy the way he's come through the run.
And we look towards then the weekend, and actually it starts off with a horse, an interesting horse I had to ask you about at Kembla on Saturday. Inouye, am I saying that right? Inouye.
Yep, you're doing your homework too, Ali. Yeah. No,
I cheated, I asked you.
Inouye, that's his name, Inouye. Yeah, no, nice horse. Good fresh horse too, so he looks a nice chance if he draws a gate on Saturday at Kembla.
And then we see Zealously back on Monday on the public holiday meeting.
Another nice horse that's really wanted some good ground. Very talented, but we found that he's just no good on wet tracks, but he'll get his way this time of year. There'll be more good tracks than bad, but he's going really well. 2 trials, got him in great shape, and a nice race on Monday. Albeit a good strong race. There's a few horses there weren't expected to be there, but he'll acquit himself well.
And Firestar has the wind in his sails?
Yeah, great win first up. It doesn't normally win first up, but more than happy with what he did, and more than happy the way he worked during the week. So seems like he's held his form, and hope he can run just as well again Saturday.
Melbourne as well, so you'll no doubt be busy there because you have in the Kingston Stakes Tuileries. She travels down to partner with Craig Williams.
Yeah, look, it's a big jump in class from where she's been, but I thought a run at Newcastle was good. The handicapper didn't miss. She went up about 6, 7, 8 points actually for running third, so I thought it was a bit savage. But look, she's been destined to get some black type races, and she's 4th, 5th up the prep now, so we're not going to get her any better. Worked really well Tuesday morning, so yeah, have a shot at the stumps with her, but she's no doubt she'll find her way there in time consistently. But more than happy the way that she's going, and her run at Newcastle was great, and she's in that race with a chance.
And Media World as well, who will be second up, ran third, I think, first up in the Bobby Lewis.
He did. Like, he's a very genuine horse, lovely horse to work with. He's just got to build a name now. He's a bull, and he needs to get some runs on the board. And last prep race was great, and started off this prep with a really good run in a stakes race in Dallas Strait at Flemington. Enlisted race on Saturday. There's a few more listers and group races coming up for him over the carnival, so he'll run Saturday and stay down there for the Moonga in 2 weeks' time. And there's 2 races during the Melbourne Cup week that he fits in well with. But he's a very genuine horse and never runs a bad race.
I have to ask you about one of my standouts from the 2-year-old trials. It is the Machine Gun. I know he's been tipped out, but what did you make of him?
Oh, he's a nice horse. Only got him fairly recently, but just like the way he went about his work and how quick he come to hand. So gave him a trial just to test the water. I was more than happy with what he did there. Went out for a break, and you'll see him hopefully back in, possibly around about the Magic Millions 2-year-old race at Wyong.